Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame. First, I'm going to do a quick recap of what happened over the last day, and then I'm going to give you guys a massive Bitcoin analysis on the higher as well as the lower time frames. So what happened over the last day or so? Well, right here, we broke below this 0.236 Fibonacci level, sitting at about 67,000 US dollars. After that, we immediately fell down to this next Fibonacci level of support below that. This is the 0.382 Fibonacci level, sitting at about 65.5K. However, we then held this as a level of support and broke this short-term downtrend, leading to another move to the upside here. Now, I do not think we are fully out of the woods yet, considering that we haven't broken above these previous highs here, but it is a first bullish confirmation signal that we have reclaimed this 0.236 Fibonacci level once again. So before diving into the longer term, what am I looking out for here in the immediate short term for Bitcoin? Well, I am first of all looking at these Fibonacci levels right here. So I'm taking this recent wick high to this swing low also on the wick. And here you can see that we are currently in the process of testing this Fibonacci golden pocket here, sitting between 67.9K and about 68.1K for the Bitcoin price. And this should act as a strong short-term level of resistance, not only because it is the Fibonacci golden pocket, but it is also sitting right around these previous highs. So in the short term, if we reclaim this, we trade above that 68.1K level, that should be a first bullish confirmation signal in the short term. Hopefully we can reclaim this either today or tomorrow, and then over the weekend kind of chop around on top of this Fibonacci golden pocket, because this will give us a very clear setup for next week as well, where if we break below the Fibonacci golden pocket once again, that should be a very easy bearish signal to catch. And of course, so long as we hold above it, we should expect more upside after that. But for now, as I said, we haven't broken above this Fibonacci golden pocket, and we should look out for potential rejections here on the lower time frames. Now, if you want to get access to my real-time analysis of the markets here, so you can take advantage of these moves in the market, then definitely join the Road to 1 Million community on Discord, because here I will tag you whenever something important is happening in the markets. You can join this completely for free, simply with the link in the video description. And once you are in here and verified, you simply go to this Trading Signals access channel and follow these steps right here to get access again completely for free. As you can tell, my recent signals have been spot on here. I got a bunch of very nice trades as well as people that are following these trades. So obviously we are winning here in the Road to 1 Million community. Again, you can find the link to this in the video description. So let's now move on to this higher time frame analysis for Bitcoin. First of all, on this 1-day time frame, here we can see a cup and handle pattern, which has already broken out to the upside, and we simply got a beautiful breakout and now a retest of this point of the breakout. So the question is, are we going to see resumption from here following that typical breakout pattern of breakout, retest, resumption? What you should know though is that so long as we are trading above this ascending trend line, so this point of the breakout, Bitcoin is actually targeting 80,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And therefore, so long as Bitcoin does not get a daily candle close below this point of the breakout here, I am expecting that eventually we are going to get close to this $80,000 price target. And staying on this 1-day time frame, if we take a look at this descending channel for Bitcoin, this is also still breaking out to the upside, even with this recent move down here. Because again, this looks like breakout, retest of this point of the breakout here, and now a possible resumption to the upside after that. And again, so long as we are not breaking down below these previous highs here with confirmed candle closes, I am expecting that we are going to get resumption here. Although, of course, we must take into consideration the various time frames, because again, as I showed you earlier in this video, on the lower time frames, we have to break some critical levels of resistance first. Either way, on this 1-week time frame, this is also not looking too bad. Yes, we are currently in a red week here after getting this massive pump to the upside last week. However, we broke out above these previous highs with a confirmed candle close on the 1 week time frame. And in this week, this simply looks like a retest of these previous highs right here in this purple box, getting a decent size bounce from there so far. Now, at the same time, we must take into consideration this pattern that Bitcoin is trading in, which is this broadening wedge pattern, typically pointing towards increasing volatility over time as we shoot to the bottom and the top of this range here. So yes, technically on this pattern specifically, there is limited room to the upside because the high of this pattern right here is sitting at 69.5K, roughly speaking. So therefore, again, we should expect some resistance here at this high. But at the same time, if we break out above that, that should be another bullish confirmation signal on the higher time frames. And again, I do think that also aligns with the breakout here on that 1 week RSI, which is the Bitcoin momentum indicator. Now, we beautifully caught this breakout here on the channel because the week that we actually broke out above that descending trend line on the RSI, it actually aligned with these two candles right here when we were trading at about 55K. So we were in this downtrend here. And then right here, we caught that shift in momentum. And of course, after that, we have seen this beautiful move to the upside of about 25% so far. So obviously, I am very happy with this move that we caught to the upside here. However, one thing you could look out for on this 1 week time frame is a break of this ascending trend line, again with a confirmed candle close, because this could point towards a shift in momentum on the higher time frame. It could point towards a short-term or potentially even long-term shift of this recent uptrend that we have been in, pointing towards another potential move to the downside, as well as trading back inside this descending channel for Bitcoin, which could lead to some more chop over the next couple weeks or potentially even months. But again, for now, I do not think that is the case because, as I said, the 1 day time frame is still looking good. And we have a very clear point of invalidation, which is if we break below the point of the breakout of this cup and handle pattern. Now taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, first of all, on this 2 week time frame. As you can see right here on this recent downtrend, we took out a bunch of liquidity. First of all, at 67.4K, roughly speaking, where we took out over $300 million worth of Bitcoin long positions that lost their money on their trade. And after that, we took out another $250 million at about 66.5K for the Bitcoin price. So obviously the people that entered into a long position very late into this uptrend here, after we had already topped, they got punished very quickly after opening up their trade, trying to catch some kind of higher low here. But as you know, if you watch my videos, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart. And of course, it took out that biggest level of liquidity right here. So what am I looking out for in the Bitcoin liquidation heat map right now? Well, as you can see right here to the upside, we have about $200 million worth of Bitcoin short positions that would get liquidated if the Bitcoin price reaches 68.3K, which would be above that Fibonacci golden pocket. So to be clear, this is that Fibonacci golden pocket that I was talking about. I think the ideal scenario would be to grab the liquidity here to the upside again today or tomorrow, and then over the weekend kind of chopping around sideways on top of that Fibonacci golden pocket. As for right now, I do think it is likely that eventually we are going to take out this level of liquidity here, because if we take a look at this 4-hour time frame, Bitcoin recently got a bounce perfectly from our level of support here, sitting from 66K all the way down to 65,000 US dollars. And after that, we broke this downtrend, getting another perfect breakout, retest and resumption from there. And basically, so long as Bitcoin is trading above this ascending trend line here, eventually we should be taking out that 68.3K level of liquidity. However, one thing to keep in mind is that we are currently trading inside a big level of resistance. So we should always be a little bit cautious inside those big levels of resistance. This one is sitting from 67.5K all the way up to 70,000 US dollars. Now, if we see a clear rejection in the charts in the short term, there is some liquidity at about 67.2K, which could be a potential price target in the short term. Again, if you see that rejection to the downside, there's even liquidity as low as about 66.6K for the Bitcoin price. So if we really start getting a big move to the downside, you could look towards these previous lows to undercut them slightly and grab that liquidity there. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today. Yesterday, we got another $200 million inflow from the Bitcoin ETFs. So even though they flipped slightly bearish here for one day, it looks like the trend of massive inflows is now continuing here. On that recent move to the downside, we saw a lot of profit taking and potentially even the Bitcoin ETFs getting a little bit scared here of another move to the downside. So they took some profits. However, if we now continue to get massive inflows of hundreds of millions of Bitcoin being bought every single weekday, I do think this is going to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. So that is just about everything I'm looking out for in the Bitcoin charts right now. Before I leave off here, guys, I highly recommend you check out the Road to 1 Million community on Discord, because this is one of the most active crypto trading Discords in the space right now. So if you want to share your own analysis or just want to read other people's analysis and talk about crypto, come join the server. It is, again, completely free. So you can find the link to that in the video description. Regardless, if you do end up joining or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.